Hey coaches, hey, there's a proverb that says this, Proverbs 13:3. It says, "The one who guards his mouth protects his life, and the one who opens his lips invites his own ruin." Man, I remember when I was younger, and even not so long ago, moments where I have opened my mouth and I shouldn't have. When I was younger, there might have been times, even at my kids' games or even when I used to play, where I would disagree energetically with a call that was made on the field by a coach or another player or the ref, right? Have you ever had those moments? You ever had those? Of course you have. And sometimes our mouths get the better of us. I mean, we get ahead of ourselves, and then after the fact we realize, man, that was out of place. And controlling the tongue, it's a problem, right? It is. It's hard for a lot of coaches. It's hard for a lot of athletes. And a lot of times we create more problems with our mouths than we do with our actions. And that's crazy. In my case, I just don't think before I speak sometimes. And Proverbs 13:3 reminds me of that. It tells us if we can control our tongues, then we can enhance our lives. If we speak before we think, it can go really bad. But if we think before we speak, we got a better shot, right? I mean, sometimes I think about that in the context of working with our student athletes, and I wonder sometimes if the things that I'm saying are beating people down or if they're raising people up. What kind of influencer am I? What kind of influencer does God want me to be? And I think that what we have to realize is that our mouths are what we use as influence. What we say does matter, and how we say it matters. Why does God want us to keep our tongues and our mouths in check? Well, I think for me personally, when I'm speaking, I am speaking on His behalf. And as a leader, no matter where I lead, and as a leader for you, no matter where you're leading, you're representing not only yourself, but someone else. And so what you say does matter, and it holds weight. And it's difficult. It's hard. In a world that says, hey, say your piece and tell people what you think, it's difficult sometimes to hold back. But man, think about the example that we're setting. Think about what we're showing our student athletes. Think about what we're showing our children. Think about what we are letting people know is in our hearts when we just kind of let somebody have it. Whether that's a student athlete, a fellow coach or teacher, administrator, or a referee. I mean, sometimes we're just out of place, right? And the Bible does say, the one who guards his mouth protects his life. The one who opens his lips invites his own ruin. So some questions to think about that I'd love for you to talk to your players about too. Is your mouth out of control? Maybe you have some players that are just talking too much smack, or they're talking back to you, or they're talking back to one another, backbiting. And is their mouth out of control? Is yours out of control? How can you speak life into your student athletes and into other people that you know? How can you even speak life into a referee? I mean, think about that one for a moment. How can you speak life into your opponents? How can you be someone when people meet you and remember you, they recall you as someone who is dramatically different than everyone else because of the way that you controlled your mouth, controlled your tongue, controlled your energy, and used it for good, and you were positive rather than negative? When was the last time that your mouth got you in trouble? Take a second. When was the last time you spouting off got you in trouble? Could that have gone differently? I mean, for me, the answer is yes. I mean, probably it is for you too. Today, I want you to start just taking a few moments here and there before you speak to your athletes, to your family, to your friends, and just think about what you want to say. And is it life-giving, or is it something that's kind of defeating? How can you coach and instruct in a different way today and in days going forward? And I know you may not have those kinds of people in your life, but you want them. Well, everybody else wants them too. People who speak life into us. Be an influencer in that way. The one who guards his mouth protects his life, and the one who opens his lips invites his own ruin. When you open your lips, speak good things. Be kind. Care for others well. Be a great influencer and make a difference. Hopefully that's encouraging for you today, but it's also challenging too, right? We'll talk to you later.